Drip Kitty here, and welcome to a brand new series called LoveKami Divinity Stage. This here is a visual novel made by MoeNovel. It's made by the same people who made the visual novel If My Heart Had Wings, which I may play at some point. Yeah, just got the game not too long ago, and I wanted to check it out. I've already went through and done all my configurations options, so let's start it up here. Let's see.
神様なんていない。人が夢を忘れ、信じる心を失いかけた、そんな時代。目に映るものしか信じられなくなった人々の前に、その姿を表すようになりました。世に言う神様降臨です。無数の神様が降り立ち、各地で混乱を巻き起こしました。それに伴い国家レベルでの対応を図ることになります。混乱の最中、特別法案、通称八百万阻止法が成立し、事態が収拾の一途をたどるかに思われました。しかし、全てをひっくり返すように、後からやってきたアマテラス大神が皆に告げました。人の世を知らない我々は幼子も同じだと。アマテラス様が教育の必要性を訴え、その場を用意するよう命じます。これにより神様教育法が制定される運びとなり、各地に神様教育特区が作られました。神様たちは人と共に学び、親しみ、心を通わせて。そんな神様降臨から1年ちょっと、人と神様の文化交流はさらなる発展を遂げていこうとしています。
Well, that's a good thing then. Don't want the gods angry at you. Huh. Okay. Yeah, that was a movie. Ooh wee.
皆さん、こんにちは。L7 です。
Tips: The mithril god measure, a legal measure regarding the goddesses who descended to the human world. Basically, a set of rules for humans and goddesses living together. The goddess said, "Hello, everyone. We are the L-Star 7. The gods are nourished by Sakimatama, which brings forth their Jinki." Sakimatama means the good hearts and goodwill of humanity. Faithful minds create better Sakitama, which becomes a source of strength for the gods. Oh, we got a tip about the Sakitama. They usually refer to blessings from the gods to mankind. In LoveKami, it refers to the human happiness or goodwill, which gives gods their power. Okay. And the path chosen by many goddesses to gather Sakimatama in today's society was, oddly enough, the entertainment industry. This is the divine idol group L7. They were the most popular idol group of all. Playing on the big screen in front of Akihabara station was L7's concert footage. Seeing as how they were all goddesses, of course they were beautiful, and they were great singers and dancers. No wonder they could get so popular. Whenever she comes by the house, she's just a normal, down-to-earth girl. Yamato. Wonder if that's us. Must be. Another tip. L7, the top goddess idol group, members of the 7 goddesses of good luck. with the center being Benzaten. Sarah Benzaten, the center girl of L7, was someone I knew personally. But the girl who glittered up on stage was like a completely different person. I was proud of all her hard work, but at the same time, there was a distance between us. It was a complicated feeling. But anyway, there sure are a lot of goddesses around Akiba these days. Akiba, an abbreviation for Akihabara, most often used within Akihabara subcultures. These are some interesting things, giving us actual facts about stuff. Driven by L7's popularity, divine idols were increasing by the day. Countless goddesses gathered here in Akihabara, the holy land for pop idols. They put on gaudy costumes, passed out flyers, and of course performed. Tips: Japanese idols are cute and likable. Their influence grows along with their fan base, with fans going to great effort to show their commitment. A year ago, this place was packed with mere humans. Now it is full of goddesses with aspirations of idolhood. But no one really bats an eyelash at all the goddesses now. Year after the descent, they're already a normal part of daily life. Or at least, that's what I thought. The intro flowing out of the speakers was solemn, like an old imperial court music. Just when I thought it was another old divine idol, it flipped into a catchy pop melody. Powerful vocals exploded out of the speakers. All the passersby stopped what they were doing in response to the singing. But that was over in an instant. Most of the people quickly returned to their daily lives, walking off somewhere. Those who stayed, however, were enthralled by her song. I was one of those. This really is something. This little corner was overrun with a kind of heat that cut right into a person's soul. She wasn't dressed like an idol. She was wearing the uniform of a nearby school. Her equipment was cheap busker level stuff. Wow, she looks nice. She must be a goddess. Even though when she sang, for an instant she sparkled too. Her passionate performance touched something within me. And soon I was moving my body without even realizing it. At her call, some unseen force began to respond. Around her uniformed figure, countless balls of light appeared. They spun along with her dance moves, glittering and turning the performance into a gorgeous show. No human could have done it. It was divine work. She turned up the voltage and the street corner went wild. Her voice grew more fiery and her dances more fervent. The crowd cheered as one, their fists raised into the air. It was like something out of a movie, and to think I hadn't felt anything special before. So this is what Divine Idol is really like. I'd been completely enthralled by the power of live Divine Idol show. Now I understood why. I knew why everyone was so crazy about L7. The whirling lights started to close in and the song sounded like it was coming to a close. But the dancing lights didn't hold my eyes, they were fixed on her, still singing so happily. I ended up staying to the very end. I was warmed through and through. The performance still resonated through me, undying. I think she said her name was Shuri Kisaton? Kisoton. Deity thought to be the personification of fortune, beauty, and riches. Initially the Hindu goddess Lashima, Kisoton entered Shintoism through Buddhism. Apparently she was striving to become a divine idol too. She was still an amateur compared to L7, but I couldn't deny I had been moved by her performance. There was something special about her voice, something that reached into people's hearts. Was it something every divine idol had, or something particular to her? As it was, I didn't really know, but I wanted to find out more. This place, Akihabara, had long been a holy land for pop idols. Girls with dreams of idolhood had come and then gone. There were those whose dream came true and then they mounted the big stage, and those whose dreams had died here. Akihabara was a place with milestones for either path, a place of very, very colored memories that will surely never change, not for people and not for goddesses. Divine idols are hatched here, and someday they may spread their wings and fly away. Fly away to that big sparkling stage. LoveKami, Divinity stage. The passion I'd felt during the street performance hadn't faded. Shiri Kisoton, her performance might have been special, it might not. I did not know enough about divine idols to make that judgment. Luckily, Akiba is the perfect place to learn. Wow, that's really well drawn backgrounds. Going one street in from Akihabara main thoroughfare, the way grew crowded with lots of different shops. The area had been famous for maid cafes, and now goddess cafes were spreading. Goddess Cafe Amano Kagumiyama, the sign out front says live shows. Amano Kaguyama, the name of the cafe where Kagura works, originally the name of a mountain in Nara, thought to be where Amaterasu Okami hid herself in the cave. Whoa.
いらっしゃいませ。
Hello to you. It's quite the revealing outfit. Welcome, thank you for coming, she said. Okay, that's still the same tip.
お一人様ですか？お一人様ですね。どうぞこちらの席へ。
The shopkeeper led me to a seat. But I was thrown off by the crazy outfit in front of me. I knew that divine idols tended to show a lot of skin, but even so, this was something else.
あれれ？もしかしてこういうお店初めてです？うちは正真正銘本物の神様喫茶ですよ。
I wasn't doubting you. But it was a little suspicious. She was so bothered she leaned in closer to talk. Because of that, I got a bit more of a look than I'd expected and grew even more embarrassed.
あたし、雨渦かぐらって言います。雨のうずめの分け見玉なんだけど、わかるかな？
Wakimatama, a division of goddess divine spirit. Divine spirit can be indefinitely divided without impact to the original spirit. These spirits are also found in charms. We call it the descent, but it really is. But it's not like the gods and goddesses just appeared in human form. They divided their spirits into Wakimatama, and while each one of them is influenced by the original god, they aren't exact copies. Each Wakimatama is different, with their own looks and character. She is one Ami no Uzumi's Wakatama, but she is also a person of her own, who is apparently called Kagara Amazu. Ami no Uzumi. In the legend about Amaterasu Okami hiding in the caves, this goddess brought light back into the world by dancing a sexy dance. I know who Ami no Uzumi is. Isn't she the goddess of entertainment?
知ってる人初めてかも。今日はラッキーだったりして。
Ami no Uzumi is not only the goddess of entertainment, but also known for being fortunate. But apparently not many people know that these days. Goddesses whose popularity is in decline and lose Sakimatama often recover it by making their idol debuts. The Goddess Cafe of Akihabara are where these hatchling divine idols can start to strut their stuff.
いつまでもおしゃべりしてたら店長に怒られちゃう。ご注文何にする？
I took a look at the menu she handed me. It all looked fairly ordinary, pretty much. The same as all the old maid cafes that filled Akiba. Let's see. Iced coffee, I guess.
へー。
She was clearly disappointed. Is that not a good idea?
いえ、まずくないけどね。いいと思うよ、アイスコーヒー。うん。でも、せっかく神様喫茶に来たのに、アイスコーヒーじゃ、普通すぎてつまんないかなーって。なので、一番人気の神様オムライスはどうかな？私のおすすめだよ。
So how is that different from a regular rice omelet?
なんと、神様がオムライスに字を書いてくれます。
Is that all?
それだけって言うけどね。神様なんだよ。ご利益すんごいんだよ。御朱印よりありがたいんだから。
Okay, then I'll have the goddesses write all. Rice omelet.
神様オムライス入りました。神様オムライス入りました。
The entire staff repeated the order. You might have thought that it would attract attention, but it didn't. It was the most popular dish after all, so it wasn't exactly rare.
お待たせしました。アイスコーヒーと神様オムライスです。
She brought me my order and started shaking a ketchup bottle.
さあ、どんな文字を書きますか？何でも OK ですよ。すぐに思いつかないようなら、神様にお任せしちゃうのもありですけど。
Well, I guess I'll leave it up to you then.
わかりました。では、アマウズ神楽、いざ参ります。
Shaking the ketchup, her face went deadly serious. It was a tranquil moment, like the moment before a calligrapher lowers her brush to the paper.
もえ、キュン、キュン。おいしくなーれ。おいしくなーれ。
What? That's it?
まあ、ここからが本番だから、よーく見ててね。
The stale atmosphere suddenly changed, and a frigid wind uprose. The ketchup bottle waved above the omelette like the scepter of a Shinto priest. I was so swept up in the sight that I almost missed the faint light that started dancing above the rice omelette. So, this is a goddess rice omelette. In her presence, I reflexively sat up straighter, although she seemed like a bit of a ditz. This girl was, after all, a goddess.
はい、完了。神様オムライス、出来上がりです。文字はお任せだったから、私のサインにしてみました。よかったら、ファンになってくれると嬉しいな。
I can't read it.
け ケチャップだと潰れて読めないね。じゃあ、ハートマークのおまけしちゃおう。
She added a few hearts. It was even bigger mess, but to be honest, I didn't mind.
それじゃあ、ゆっくり楽しんでいってね。
She left me with my goddess-signed rice omelette. It certainly looked blessed, but I wonder about the taste. Meh. Tasted like a perfectly ordinary rice omelette with a lot of ketchup. While I enjoyed my after-meal iced coffee, I looked around the goddess cafe. All the cute idle, dreaming goddesses seemed to be having fun while they worked. Apart from their magic, they didn't really seem any different from human girls.
皆様お待たせしました。ただいまより当店のキャストによるステージタイムとなります。
The lights went down and a spotlight hit the tiny stage. Then loud music started playing. It was the intro to an L7 song.
皆さん、こんにちは。
こんにちは。
みんなの神様、アマーズカグラです。イエーイ。
A few divine idols appeared, centered around Kagura.
初めてのみんなも、常連のみんなも、来てくれてありがとう。今日は私たちと一緒に盛り上がっちゃおう。
Suddenly all the customers who had been sitting quietly so far rushed up in front of the stage. They all gripped multicolored glow sticks and were cheering for their favorite goddess.
はーい、いつも応援ありがとね。ヘルハンド氏も、おにぎり乳道さんも、どうもどうも。
The goddess waved at the fans they recognized from the stage. I'm sure the fans were overjoyed at this close-up interaction. But even then, what's up with that? There's something going on with the goddesses around Kagura. Maybe it was because Kagura's outfit was so skimpy, but whenever she made any big movements, they covered her. I'm sure she was wearing something under there, but her eyes kept glancing around, trying to catch a glimpse.
かぐらちゃん、今日も可愛いよ。もっとサービスして。
ありがとう。でも、これ以上は見せないもんね。
The goddesses guarding Kagura all nodded in agreement. It appeared all of this was normal here.
それじゃ、いっくよ
Yeah, definitely scantily clad. With the warm-up talk finished, it was finally time for the song to start. The crowd's eyes were fixated on Kagura, so singing and dancing with all her heart.
はいはいはい。
よーし、盛り上がってきたぞ。
かぐらちゃん。
みんな、どんどん行くよ。
I felt a sense of unity with this show, far beyond what I had watching Shiri's street performance earlier. Kagura was the center of the action, but the others sang and danced right with her. It overflowed with the power of a group performance, something far different from a solo artist. Everyone gave their whole attention to the performance, and the girls all watched the audience as well. The whole shop became one stage, and everyone was united in this show. Just like the others, I was on my feet, fists in the air.
みんな最高。今日のステージも楽しすぎるよ。
During breaks in the singing, Kagura kept calling out to the audience. The dancing kept getting more tedious, and we in the audience grew more deeply enthralled. Gradually, they blocked less and less of Kagura's skin, and the more we saw, the more thrilled we got. Glances at her bare skin was captivating, but strangely it was less erotic than it had been before the show started. The singing, the dancing, and this outfit. Three became one, all part of the show. Then, as the energy uniting the stage and the audience reached its maximum, Kagura exploded into emotion. As her hand touched her costume, it began to unfold like great wings. Huh? Wait? Costume already skimpy became even more revealing. She rushed to cover her vital bits, but barely made it.
Kagura-chan no Datsui kita!
Crowd went wild, and what's more, it was like her stripping was almost to be expected. No one tried to rush to the stage, but everyone was focused solely on her. She and the crowd grew more fervent as one. Again, her hands went over her costume. Was she seriously going to take more off? She did, there would be no way to cover what needed covering. And she flung her arms open. The other goddesses rushed to cover her, but there was no way they'd make it. Stop! Jumped on stage by reflex. Stood in front of Kagura to hide her from the audience. What are you doing taking your clothes off in front of everyone? Girls shouldn't do that. Kagura thanked me with a puzzled look on her face. What am I doing? I was supposed to be there watching Divine Idols putting on a show, and there I was, rushing the stage and completely destroying the mood. I got a thorough talking to in the back room. Then, finally, they let me go. I'm just glad I didn't get banned. Miss Amazu? Kagura appeared before me dressed in her uniform. Yamato Tatsumi, I'm really sorry about what happened just now. I apologize for ruining her performance. Apparently her show gets stopped quite often because of her stripping. If I hadn't got on stage and stopped her, it probably would have ended the same way anyway. They say that when Materasu got angry and hid in the Amano Awaya cave, Ami no Uzumi had danced and taken off her clothes to make her come out. Amaterasu Okami, also known as Amaterasu Omikami, she is the goddess of the sun in Japanese myth and Japanese garden deity. Since Kagura is Wakimatama for a goddess like that, it's only natural she'd be influenced by that part of the goddess's nature. That's dangerous. Are you sure you'll be okay? What do you mean, heh? She's glad I got in trouble instead of her. Oh, well, I guess if I was able to protect her and her pay, there's some relief there. Please don't pay it any mind. At least I did some good. Kagura stared at me with a troubled look, like something was bothering her. What is it? What exactly do you mean by that?
だからそれ。その丁寧口調。友達と話すみたいに普通にしてよ。
Oh, that's what you want, Kagura. Gotcha.
よろしい。
When I lightened my tone, Kagura seemed pleased. She had seemed cheerful working in the Goddess Cafe, but now she actually seemed more relaxed and happier. Meaning this must be the real Kagura Mizu.
覚えたよ、ヤマトのこと。次は、ちゃんと最後まで私のステージ見てね。
And with those words, Kagura disappeared into the Akihabara streets. I'm home. Putting aside the door curtain, and I arrived back at our Kamino shop, Tatsumi's. Being one of the Tatsumis on the sign, I live here, in a living space in the back of the shop. There's no one manning the shop again? They're asking for trouble. Mother and father weren't that old, but maybe inheriting this ancient kimono shop gave them old-fashioned ideas. Despite all the valuable kimonos stored here, they often left without locking the door. Luckily, here in Kanda, there were a lot of old wholesalers and small shops, and everyone looks out for each other, so we've not had any trouble so far. Someone's here. Someone was in the back of the shop. My mother, or perhaps... Hello! Quite the, scene to walk into. I beheld a heavenly being. She was probably trying things on, as she was wrapped in a light underrobe. It was Sarah. That was no heavenly being, this was my friend the goddess. Sarah Benzatin was the center for L7, making her one of the most popular divine idols there were. Right now she was changing clothes in front of me. I knew I shouldn't be looking, but I couldn't seem to avert my eyes. She was humming happily. Even without using Jinriki, that voice could enthrall people, and the clear tone of it was full of healing power. Jinriki, a mysterious power held by goddesses. This power may be bestowed upon them, or perhaps this power makes goddesses. It had been moved by Shiri's passionate singing, but Sarah's healing voice held another kind of enchantment. Under other circumstances, I'd probably have been thinking about their differences. But right now, the sight before my eyes blew all such thoughts out of my mind. I held my breath, watching Sarah. The sun shone through her dress, making it transparent and showing the outline of her body. Her womanly curves gave rise to all kinds of ideas. It grew hard to breathe, and my heart pounded loud in my ears. I couldn't leave, nor could I move closer. I was frozen in place. Sarah's humming stopped. The breeze from the window gently fluttered her light robes. I couldn't see her skin, but then Sarah's attention fell from her song. In that instance, the spell from me as well.
Yamato-kun?
Her gaze turned towards the shop entrance towards me. Sarah!
おかえりなさい.
Saying nothing of my peeping, she just welcomed me with a soft smile. I am so very sorry. I was bowing to the ground in front of Sarah, apologizing for watching her get changed. I was doing a really good job, if I do say so myself.
もういいから、そんなに謝らなくても。私は別に気にしてないし。それとも何かな？ ヤマトくんは私の大事なとこ、見ちゃったりしたのかな？
No, I didn't. I mean, I saw the silhouette of something.
そっかそっか。ならギリギリセーフだね。
Even without seeing the important bits, Sarah's silhouette in that dress had been more exciting than mere nudity ever could be. I didn't want her to see me like this, so I kept my face averted.
あら、もしかして照れてるの？
Well, it is embarrassing. After all, I did get caught watching the famous divine idol getting changed. And if Sarah's fans found out, it could cause all kinds of trouble. At the same time, seeing her like that had been extremely stimulating.
ヤマトくんもそういうの気にしちゃう年頃なんだね。
After teasing me a little, suddenly she seemed to soften. She wrapped her arms around me and rested her weight on my body, like always. Wait, Sarah, what are you doing?
かわいいな、ヤマトくんは。抱きつかれたくらいでわたわたしちゃって。
Of course, I mean, anyone could get like this. Being hugged by a beautiful woman like you.
そっかそっか。なんだか嬉しいな。お姉さん、ギューってしたくなっちゃう？ギュー。
She must have thought my resistance was funny because she pressed her whole body against me and squeezed. She was so soft and warm and smelled so good I forgot for a moment that she was a goddess and an idol.
ごめんください。え？
Customer showed up at the worst possible moment.
あら、お客様よ。いらっしゃい。
Sarah greeted the customer pleasantly, still pressed up against me. Hey, let go of me, you're scaring the customer. Peeling Sarah off of me, I forced a smile on my face. Welcome, thank you for coming. So, and I finally noticed it was the girl from the street performance earlier.
ごめんなさい。やっぱりいいわ。別の店に行くから。
No, wait, aren't you Shiri Kisahoten?
私のこと知ってるの？
She stopped at my words just as she had been walking out the door. I just found out. Your performance in front of Akihabara station today, didn't you?
私のライブ見てくれたんだ。
Her weary look didn't change, but somehow she seemed
つ
happier.
まり私のファンってことよね。ライブ見てくれてありがとう。
She might have been embarrassed thanking me directly because she turned bright red and stuck her hand out.
だからもう、ファンなら握手してあげるってこと。気象点するよ。よろしく。
Nice to meet you. I was half forced into shaking her hand. But it was true that her street performance had moved me. She kind of just decided I was a fan, but I didn't mind actually.
あなたがシュリちゃんなのね。はじめまして。お姉さんにはいつもお世話になっています。なんでここに弁財天サラがいるの？だってここ、彼氏の家だもん。
Joking around, she embraced me again. I really wish she would get her pranks under control.
もしかしてスキャンダル、私目撃しちゃったの？
Shuri was almost ready to explode. Her statements were becoming almost incomprehensible. Sarah was an old hand at pranks, and since Shuri's composure was wearing thin, this prank just added fuel to the fire.
そうよ、ここにいるのはそっくりさん。弁財天サラリのがっかり系美人に違いないわ。ああ、そういうこと言うんだ。ならお姉さん、本気出しちゃおうかな。
Sarah let out a cute little sound and her whole body started to shine with a faint light.
どう？ これで私が弁財天サラダって証明できたかしら？
Far beyond a mere costume change, in an instant her whole body morphed. Now dressed in her full L7 outfit, Sarah exuded an aura that no mere idol could match.
すごい。ライブの衣装と同じだ。信じてもらえた？はい。でも、この人間のオスとはどのようなご関係で？
She turned her suspicious gaze on me, as if I were some kind of villain. I guess that being over familiar with Sarah, who was apparently worthy only of worship, seemed to make me look like a dangerous stalker.
だから、私の彼氏なの。
Sarah, still not taking the hint, embraced me yet again. Stop screwing around. She's gonna believe you.
ってことは、ごめんね。ちょっとからかってみただけなの。ヤマトくんは、この店の息子さんで知り合いなのよ。本当ですか？ほら、私のキラキラな瞳を見て。うわ、まつげ長い。さすがトップアイドル。信じてもらえたかしら？そうですね。冷静に考えてみれば、あの弁財天さらに彼氏なんているはずないですし。
At any rate, it looks like we cleared up that misunderstanding.
ところでシュリちゃんは、辰巳屋に用事があってきたのよね。
Oh yes, welcome. Can I help you find anything? I switched into customer service mode.
そうね。もしかして、アイドル衣装？はい。このことは、うちのお姉ちゃんには絶対秘密にしてほしいんですけど。
As Sarah explains, Shuri's big sister was Miss Hamilton. Miss Hamilton, a member of L7 and Shuri's Kishoten's sister, one of Buddhism's 4 heavenly kings and one of the 7 goddesses of good luck. She was a member of L7 and was apparently quite close to Sarah.
秘密にするのはいいけど、お姉さんに内緒でアイドル活動してるの？私が神様アイドルになるって言ったら、きっとお姉ちゃん、心配すると思うから。心配してあれこれ竿を焼いて。確かにあの子なら、そうなっても不思議はないわね。
Sarah clearly thought Miss Hamilton was a bit of a worrywart when it came to her little sister.
お姉ちゃんの足を引っ張りたくないんです。だから実力を認められるまで、内緒ってことで。今度のオーディションで合格したら、きっと私のこと認めてくれると思うんです。お姉ちゃんの隣に立っても恥ずかしくない。そんな神様アイドルになりたいから。
If she went public as a raw amateur, she'd just hold her sister back. So she wanted to reach her full potential before taking the stage by her sister. Even I could understand the sense in that. But one thing did bother me. Abe, I ask you one question. What exactly do you mean by this audition? The room froze at my question.
なんとなくそうかなとは思ってたけど、やっぱりヤマト君は知らなかったか。嘘。オーディションのこと本当に知らないの？普通にニュース番組でも取り扱われてるし、告知ポスターだってそこら中で見かけるでしょ？
No, I'm sorry, but I honestly don't know. What are you talking about? The two both had a look on their faces like, what's wrong with this poor idiot? And then someone showed up to rub my face in it.
こんにちはー。あれ、どうして弁財天サラがここに？
It was yet another goddess I had just met earlier.
この子、私と全く同じリアクションしてるわ。なら、もう一度ギュッてしなきゃね。
A grinning Sarah wrapped her arms around me again. Huh? Please stop that.
彼氏じゃないなら抱きつかないでください。人前でそんなことするなんてはしたないですよ。
Since I was frozen in place, Shuri peeled Sarah off for me.
おー、天才剣サラの恋人発覚。っていうかさ、そこにいるのはヤマトだよね。
Oh, hi, Kagura. It's you again.
さっきぶりだね、ヤマト。あれあれ、もしかしてお知り合い？私も聞かせてほしいわね。どうやら同じ学園のお仲間のようだし。
Indeed, Shuri and Kagura were wearing the same uniform. The design was similar, slightly different, but Sarah's was the same too. Now that Shuri had pointed it out, these three goddesses clearly all went to the same school. It was the second year since the establishment of the Divine Education Act in places all over the country. These educational zones were expanding. Divine Education Act. A measure decided between the government and the heavens to prevent accidents caused by goddesses not having worldly knowledge. The area spreading from Uno Okihiyamachi to Akihabara had been designated as one of these zones. Being in Keita, I didn't have a lot of direct contact, but I knew there was a designated school over by Yushima. So it looks like you're all students at the same school, but you've never met, so maybe you should introduce yourselves. I guess I should start, since it was my idea. I'm the only son of the owners of the Tatsumis. Yamato Tatsumi.
吉祥天首里よ。一応、神様アイドル志望ってことでよろしく。連載店サラ、神様アイドルやってます。あと、ヤマトくんの恋人も兼任してます。はいはい。そのギャグはもうお腹いっぱいですから。
Shuri had enough experience to know to stop Sarah when she tried to grab me.
それで、あなたは見たところ、神様なのはわかるけど。アマーズ・カグラです。神様アイドル志望。一応、雨のうつめやってます。ああ、おたふくの。はじめまして。どうぞよろしく。
Sarah shook her hand with a gentle smile. Getting her hand shook by the famous center for L7, Kagura went stiff with nervousness. 神様アイドル志望ってことは、あなたも今度のオーディションに？
うん、もちろんエントリーしてるよ。順位は全然下の方だけどね。そっか、お互い苦戦してるみたいね。
Looks like Shuri was in the same boat as Kagura. So, I hate to throw a damper on things, but could someone please go ahead and explain this audition to me?
仕方ないわね。それじゃあざっくり説明してあげる。
Shuri put on a helpful face and made herself the official audition explainer. Popular Divine Idol group L7, they are apparently having an audition for a new member. Many wondered if it was okay to increase membership of a group called L7, but apparently it's not a problem. L7 started when the 7 goddesses of good luck combined to make an idol group. The 7 goddesses of good luck, the name for a collection of 7 goddesses from ancient Japanese myth, Hinduism, Buddhism, and Daoism in Japan. They are revered for bringing good fortune. And so you would think that the number 7 would be important, but apparently even the 7 goddesses of good luck were originally 8. So based on that idea, this upcoming audition was the first step in renaming the group L8. The 8th goddess of luck was apparently Kishoten, since Shuri is one of the goddesses. Wakimatama, she's not unrelated to the story. 8 goddesses of good luck. When Otufuku, another version of Ami no Uzumi, Kisoen, Darumatadashi, or Ukajuri, joins the 7. They become the 8 goddesses of good luck.
オーディションはネット投票で行われる予選とステージでパフォーマンスをする本戦に分かれているの。ちょうど今予選が行われてる最中なんだよ。
Only those goddesses who make it through the 3-month qualifier voting will have a chance to perform in the main audition. Every night the little hatchling divine idols do their best to make it to the final round. I think I get the gist of it. It sounds like you two are in a tight spot.
神様アイドル用の衣装がないとやっぱり人気は出ないのかなと思って。それでお姉ちゃんが話してた辰巳屋さんに衣装を仕立ててもらおうと思って来たのよ。かぐらちゃんも同じかしら。私はちゃんとアイドル服持ってるよ。今日はここの噂を聞いて偵察に来ただけ。
What the heck did she mean by scouted out? I was interested to know what kind of rumors she'd heard.
噂は正しかったみたいだね。L7 の弁財天サラがここにいるんだもん。L7 の衣装は全員ここで作ってもらってるからね。
Oh, I get it. You thought that if you'd had your outfits made at the same place as L7, you'd share some of their popularity. To preserve their privacy, Tatsumi's never revealed details of their customers to public. But among the goddesses, it looked like our shop was developing a bit of a reputation. Okay then, Miss Kisoten, why don't we discuss the details of your outfit?
かぐらはどうするの？あなたもここで新しい衣装を仕立てる？私はやめとく。お金ないし。
Even if they were goddesses, they still had the same money problems as humans. Even aside Sarah and her success with L7, for most goddesses, things rarely went the way they wanted.
でも、どうしよう。このままじゃ予選の順位も上がらないよね。私も衣装を作ったからって、急激に順位が上がるとも思えないし。みんな凝った衣装を着てるから、それが大きな売りになるとは思えないわね。
Kagura and Shuri both had troubled expressions, and even Sarah looked thoughtful, like she was getting reeled into their problems. Hey Sarah, as a current L7 member, don't you have any advice for them?
そうね。サラさん、ぜひ私にアドバイスしてください。私もよろしくお願いします、サラさん。
The desperate pair drew in close to Sarah, but she just looked upset.
ごめんなさい。それはできません。関係者だから、特定の神様に協力はできないの。
Since she was a member of L7, she would be involved in the decision of things. Since the slight bit of adverse could come across as breach of impartiality, she had to be careful with every word. Oh, I see. That's fair enough.
サラさんに相談するなんて甘かったのかな。みんなそれぞれ自分の力だけで頑張ってるんだもんね。
You're best on your own, huh? I guess idol auditions were always lonely battles. But then I thought again, is that really so? I wonder. What about doing it together instead of on your own? Even if everyone was a rival, it didn't mean you had to be enemies. By cooperating with another goddess in the same situation, at the very least, the battle would no longer be lonely. なるほど。ユニットを組むってことね。おー。面白いかもしれないわね。
オーディション活動をソロでやるなんて決まりはないんだし。よーし。じゃあ私とシュリでユニットを組もう。決まりだね。ちょっと待って。
Shuri kept herself under control, throwing a bit of damper on Kagura's
ユニット
enthusiasm.
を組むアイデアはいいと思うけど、その相手があなたである必要はないでしょ？それはそうだけど。でも、そんな都合よくユニット相手が見つかるかしら。別に神楽がダメとは言ってません。ユニットを組むにふさわしいかどうか確認したいだけです。相手を誰にするかで、勝敗は大きく変わってくるはず。だからここは慎重に行きたいの。
I understand what you're trying to say, but how exactly do you plan to make that kind of judgment?
神楽のオーディションの順位次第ね。私より大幅に下だとしたら、さすがに組めないから。まず神楽。今のあなたの順位は？確か34位だったと思うけど。やっぱり低すぎるかな。シリはもっとずっと上なんだよね。それは、
Shuri was clearly avoiding eye contact. She didn't seem to want to say her own rank. I think she's actually lower than her.
どれシュリちゃんの順位はと。
Sarah took out her smartphone and started to check the rankings on the spot.
待て !39 位よ。
Well, below Kagura.
やった！私の方が全然上だよ。なかなかの実力者のようね。いいわ。あなたとユニットを組んであげる。
Shuri spoke down to Kagura, despite the fact that Kagura was higher on the list.
よっしゃー！なら、ユニット結成ってことでいいね。わかってるわよ。一度決めたことについて、後からとやかく言わない。
She seemed to reach a resolution. They would surely be butting heads from here on out, but we were witnessing the birth of an improvised divine idol duo. But what speciality are you going to do as a duo?
同じ歌を歌って、ダンスを合わせるとか？その程度しか思いつかないわね。サラさん。
Even though she just denied them, Kagura continued to try to butter up Sarah. Sarah couldn't resist that kind of schmoozing and couldn't keep brushing her off.
気持ちはわかるけど、やっぱりダメよ。それに、同じ神様の私に聞いてどうするの？人を喜ばせるためのアイドル活動なんだから、神様の意見じゃなく、人の意見を参考にしなさい。ってことは。
Shuri and Kagura turned their eyes to me. Hold on now, me?
だって、ここにいる人間はあなただけだし。ユニットのアイデアをくれたのも、ヤマトだしね。オーディションのライバル同士を組ませるなんて発想、普通はなかなか出てこないものよ。
It looks like their esteem for me was rising. It was true, though, that goddesses become idols to collect Seki Matama, so I understand why they would ask a human's opinion. But why me?
もしかして、迷惑だったかな。
No, it's no trouble,
今
just...
頼れるのはあなただけなの。お願い、ヤマト。私たちに力を貸して。
Why me? Was all I could keep thinking. But after all, I was the one who offered them this twinkle of hope, not someone else. Anyway, I actually think that's good enough place to leave it for this episode. So, as always, this is Jip Kitty, signing off. Hope you have a good day. Bye-bye.